most of my clients are US clients. I have clients in Asia and clients in Europe, but probably 75% are US clients. And there's a lot of challenging times going on in the US, from COVID-19 to a lot of the tensions that are happening around race. So a lot of the conversations of my senior executives now is they want to understand how to engage their organizations in conversations about race, or what they should do. And they carry this big weight on their shoulders, like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I do the wrong thing? What happens now? And part of that is to deload that weight and really focus on two things. And one is intellectual curiosity, and other is the power of listening. Now, I'm a big proponent of intellectual curiosity. It is like one of the go or no-go criteria of anyone I've ever hired, because when you have intellectual curiosity, you want to learn things. I have this equation I call my great leadership equation. And I challenge my executives to, if you prove my equation wrong, I owe you a cup of coffee. And that's that great leadership equals IQ times CQ times EQ. IQ being your intelligence quotient, that's your ability to learn. CQ being your curiosity, that's your willingness to learn. And EQ being your emotional intelligence, that's your ability to understand your emotions and other emotions and use that in your decision. And so the beauty of this equation is a multiplication equation. So that tells you, if you are a 0 in any one of those criteria, 0 times 0 is 0. And to the opposite of that is, it really doesn't matter where you start at with your IQ, because it's a multiplication equation. You can improve your skills and your CQ and your EQ and take your great leadership to unparalleled heights. And so IQ is a very important part of that, because there are a lot of studies that people that are intellectually curious, they tend to be able to listen better. They tend to be able to be more empathetic, put themselves in other people's shoes. They tend to be able to not be afraid to be wrong, not be afraid to ask questions, and they tend to not let past influences or preconceptions come into the current dialogue. So just my challenge to them is, if you approach the conversations of being intellectually curious and then leverage the power of listening, leverage the power of deep listening, which means, I like to call it the 4 B's of deep listening. So you have to be attentive, you have to be courteous, you have to be curious, and body language. So a lot of times you just overthink listening. You just really have to focus on what the person is saying. You have to listen for understanding and not to reply. A lot of times we listen to have this great reply. And you have to be courteous about it. Stop doing anything else. Focus on the person that's talking. And then make sure you're truly giving all the buying signals that I hear you and I'm focused on understanding you. And so having the executives be comfortable engaging in these conversations. And I get the feedback, this conversation they had all this anxiety about, it was great, because they decluttered all the mess and just focused on those two things: being curious and listening. And those two things make a powerful combination when you want to engage your workforce in understanding some of the challenging things that are going on in their lives today.